Continuing now with our lead story, Campaign Madness. Joining us from Washington, Kirsten Powers. Now, we posted my talking points on BillO'Reilly.com, and it has to be the most brilliant thing you've heard in, what, 20 minutes? What say you?
Yeah, ever. Okay. We really seriously would need like a whole show to go through everything that you just talked about. I think one of the things that bothers me is that the critics of Bernie Sanders will say things like what you said. You bring up Fidel Castro. Of course, Cuba is a communist country. It's not a democratic socialist country. And so to suggest that that's somehow what Bernie Sanders is selling, I just think is disingenuous. And I think you actually must know that, Bill, right?
Well,
you know that
I'm trying to say, I didn't say that democratic socialism is communism. I said that the largesse of the big central government was right out of the playbook. And this is how Che and Fidel, and you'll remember because I know you're a historian, they didn't say they were communists for years, Powers.
Oh, so
they told the people that they were democratic socialists. That's what they told the Cuban people.
Well,
right?
Okay,
and that they would provide for the Cuban people because the billionaires in the United States hose them.
Oh,
under
so
the
Fidel
pretense
speaks with
of
a Brooklyn
Batista
accent. That's
government.
interesting. Look, I think it would be better to choose countries that maybe have a closer resemblance, and you can criticize them if you want to say the Norwegian countries, for example.
It's the mindset I'm getting to.
If you want to criticize them, that's fine, but that's more what he's talking about.
It's the mindset.
And I think, yeah, and he's just not suggesting it's not the means of production are going to be owned by the government. That's not what he's suggesting. He's suggesting that what you call free stuff and what I consider basic human rights would be provided for Americans.
Okay. You just use the key word, provided.
Like in most industrialized countries, they are. You know, we really stand alone in terms of the way that the viewpoint that you just
That's not true.
Leave people to
fend for themselves. We don't stand alone at all. There are many countries that have our system of capitalism, including Japan, and big major economies.
But they provide universal health care, Bill. That's what I'm talking about.
The health care issue
we stand alone in that way.
The health care issue, if you want to just cleave that off,
I don't want to cleave it off because it's a huge issue. It's a huge issue, and I think it's one of the things that sets them apart.
It is the mindset. If I were a British subject, I wouldn't be sitting here because they give an exam, and I think they modified it a little bit, but back when I was coming up at 16 years old, that if you don't get a certain grade on the exam, you don't go to college, that you're assigned to the working class precincts. And I would have never at 16, because I was a thug, passed that exam. That's just one example. My theory, and it's the correct theory, is that the people who are following Bernie Sanders have no idea about what he really wants to do. Plus, it's impossible. Now, let's get specific.
You have absolutely nothing to back up what you just said.
I made my case. You made your case. Let the folks decide.
You don't know what they know, and there is nothing unusual about thinking that we should have a healthcare system for all people, that we should have college education provided to people. I think Bernie Sanders made a great case last night in terms of the fact that we all agree that we should pay for, K through 12. Now in our economy, college is as essential as that education.
Okay. There's no way, there's no money to pay for it. Now, when Judy Woodruff asked Hillary Clinton about the Soros money, it's big money, $10 million bucks, okay? And she said, oh, I don't know. You have to ask them. I don't know. Come on, Powers. I mean, how would you describe her answer?
I would describe it as being technically true in the sense that it's illegal for her to coordinate with the PAC, but I think that she obviously is not raising money from small donors in the way that Bernie Sanders is. And I think she was obviously uncomfortable because they were highlighting that.
So she had made a big deal out of the Koch brothers and other rich Republicans donating to PACs, but she takes $10 million of PAC money.
Sure,
how would you describe that?
Hypocrisy.
Thank you.
I mean, it's obviously hypocrisy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we agree on something.
Maybe the government can fund all the political campaigns. Would you like to see that?
I would like to see less money in politics. I don't think the government needs to fund them all, but I think that we need to have less influence from people who have all the money, and we don't get to hear from the people who don't have as much money.
All right. I want to remind everybody that my brilliant talking points, which Kirsten disagrees with, is posted on BillO'Reilly.com, and I want you guys to decide for yourself and let us know about it.